Summer is ending.
It is.
I'm Erin.
I'm Tom.
This is Baby's First Watch List, the podcast that's planning fall episodes as we speak.
Yeah. They're almost well, we have our next month, which we're going to talk about at the end of the show.
It's exciting. But first, we are covering our last August movie, right? It's going to be September next week.
Yes.
It's 21 Jump Street. The classic child movie.
Yeah. Well, you should be screening it before you you let your kid watch it. So that's what we're doing.
This 2012 comedy was directed by the duo of Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, also known for things like the Lego Movie, Spider-Man Into and Across the Spider-Verse, and The After Party, which was a good TV show.
Were they involved with the Mitchells vs. the Machines? Or
I think they were.
It might have just been their production company.
Yeah, I think they were involved. Like, they got all kinds of stuff. And they also did the sequel to this movie as well. The movie was written by Michael Bacall, who also did Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
He did Project X, and he's doing 2 upcoming remakes.
Was Project X was Jonah Hill involved in Project X also?
I don't know.
I feel like he was, but I may just be thinking of mid-90s or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But he's writing 2 upcoming remakes, okay? First, Weird Science.
Who asked for it, but okay.
And number 2, The Running Man.
Again, who asked for it, but okay.
Running Man.
Who's starring in The Running Man?
I'm not sure, but Edgar Wright is tapped to direct.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of interesting.
It might be at least interesting then,
yeah. But I thought that was so weird, 2 remakes. But okay. But it was weird too. Do you know that's based on a Stephen King novel?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I clicked on it. It was just the Stephen King novel. I'm like, I feel like that was a movie, and then it was the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Star Jonah Hill was credited for the story alongside Bacall. So they did the story together.
Yeah.
And then Bacall wrote
This was Jonah Hill's first foray into filmmaking.
Okay.
Because he ended up doing Maniac for Netflix, I think.
Uh-huh.
And he's done a couple. I think he was involved in
he did mid-90s.
Yeah, I think he was involved in the making of War Dogs as well.
Okay.
Writing or something like that.
Remember that movie actually was a little bit better than we thought?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be terrible, but
it actually wasn't.
It was
bad.
at least entertaining.
Yeah. Cinematographer Barry Peterson, he started off with Zoolander. I mean, he started off with commercials and then Zoolander. He did We're the Millers, Game Night, the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, and he also shot the Brooklyn Nine-Nine pilot.
Okay.
Which Lord and Miller were involved in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I could see them being involved in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That makes sense.
The music was by Devo and Rugrats King, Mark Mothersbaugh. Yeah.
I always found that so funny. I obviously knew what Rugrats was before I knew what Devo was.
Yeah. He was featured. His name was always featured in Rugrats.
And it's obviously a very notable, recognizable name. So when I found out
especially to parents.
Yeah, that he was the Devo guy, I was like, what? When I found out, later on.
He almost died from COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was actually crazy. He was on a ventilator for a month.
I'm glad he made it.
Yeah. So this movie stars a mix of
Okay. When you watch something you haven't seen in a while and things happen in pop culture and then you're like, wow, 80% of these people are problematic. That's 21 Jump Street.
Yikes. Okay, so yeah, Jonah Hill.
Yep, we'll start there.
But King, Channing Tatum.
Yeah, no issues with Channing Tatum.
Ice Cube.
Yep.
Dave Franco.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Adjacent. Problematic adjacent.
Yes. Brie Larson and Rob Riggle. So it's okay. Fine. Yeah. And Queen Dakota Johnson also has a little cameo appearance.
Will never be problematic.
And of course, Johnny Depp is
Yeah. I actually run the risk. I'm actually gonna reserve the right to retract the fact that Dakota Johnson will never be problematic. But as of now, that's what I believe.
As of now, she just loves limes.
And she lied about that.
Yeah. 21 Jump Street is based on the wait, let's just say with Dakota Johnson, we're obsessed still to this day with her Architectural Digest video.
It's the best ever.
Every year or so we watch it.
Yeah, it's actually been a while. We'll probably do. And if you haven't seen it, it's a 9-minute video where she goes through her house. I'll put it in the description.
And it's a house that she bought from Ryan Murphy.
Yes.
And she sold it. She doesn't live there anymore. But it is the best Architectural Digest video, and I have watched many of them. She is the best. I love her.
Awkward.
Was not into her until I watched that, and then ever since then, anything she's in, I'm in.
Well, because you can see her real personality in that stuff now after the fact, knowing that it's there.
She's
like
great.
In this movie, she's like funny, but she's like kind of weird.
Yeah. Watch Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah.
Another problematic cast.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So 21 Jump Street is based on the 1980s police procedural show, known really for starring Johnny Depp and like launching his career a little bit.
He also hated filming it.
Wow. Okay. Of course, this takes a much more comedic approach.
This was not a like adaptation of the show. No,
but it is seen to be in the same universe.
Yeah,
yes,
of course.
I said the movie is in the same universe decades later. It was filmed in New Orleans in 2011 and then was released in March 2012. And it was a huge hit. It reached the #1 spot at the box office. I think it knocked the Lorax off of its 2-week run at
Lorax.
The top.
I saw this in theaters, I think.
We definitely saw the second one in like the front row.
I very much remember seeing 22 Jump Street in theaters.
It netted $201.6 million on a budget that's like around $50 million.
Yeah.
It's like a figure of this to this, and $50 million's kind of spot in the middle. It also did well critically with an 85% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Richard Roper had like a funny thing to say about it where he was like, we didn't need this, but it's actually pretty funny.
Yeah. Every now and then you get one of those.
Exactly. It was nominated for a bunch of like fun awards, including 7 MTV Movie Awards, but it only won for 1 award. You're not going to guess it.
Did it win for Ice Cube?
No, it won for Best Music.
Best Explosion?
No, Best Music, but like one song in the movie. Specifically. It's
not The Real Slim Shady?
No. Specifically Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO.
Yes.
This is so college, man. A surprisingly great sequel called 22 Jump Street was released in 2014. We love it.
I thought it was just as good, if not better.
So good. And lots of random sequels were planned.
Yeah, I saw these.
I'm so confused. Of course, 23 Jump Street was, out
Somebody
there.
Said,
about which Channing Tatum said, I don't know if that joke works 3 times, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Plans for a Men in Black Jump Street crossover movie called MIB 23.
A fever dream of something no one asked for.
Plans for that was leaked in 2014. Remember like the Sony leak and stuff?
Oh, that was during that.
It was in there.
Missed this one somehow.
And there's like randomly a female-centered Jump Street spin-off plan.
Was that announced around the time of like the Ghostbusters one maybe?
I don't know, but it's like I think, and of course Tiffany Haddish and Awkwafina.
Yeah.
Like,
so this was definitely like 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2019.
And a movie focused on Brie Larson's character randomly was planned at one point.
Okay.
I just don't understand.
It might have been because she wasn't in the second one.
Maybe.
And I don't know, maybe something with that. Like she couldn't do it or something. I don't know.
Either way, this movie is not just a college classic for us, but I find it to be one of my favorite comedies.
I thought it was still really funny.
I thought it was really funny. It's definitely, when you look at it from a lens of a parent, it's a lot more vulgar than I remembered.
Yeah. But this was one of the last big ones of these types of comedies in recent memory.
Right, exactly. Just like pure fun.
There's no drama to it.
Yeah.
It's just a stupid, funny comedy.
Exactly. And you're just following these 2 guys and you're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we love it. Do you want me to do my NJ connection now? Because it's...
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to do... So last week I forgot to do the Point Break NJ connection.
Listen to our Point Break episode. It's struggling out here. It was great. We loved it. We had a great time.
And I had a difficult time finding an NJ connection to 21 Jump Street. It seems to me like everyone besides Channing Tatum, who I think was from Kansas.
Alabama.
Oh, Alabama. That's it. He's from Alabama. Like almost, maybe is Rob Riggle from Kansas?
I actually have a Channing Tatum segment later. He was born in Alabama, moved to Mississippi, moved to Florida, and then he went to college in West Virginia, dropped out, then went back to Florida. That's the Channing Tatum experience.
Quite a journey.
Yeah.
So like everyone was either from California or Illinois randomly, like the Chicago area. But I did find one connection to New Jersey, and that is that Ellie Kemper, who plays the science teacher,
who's like obsessed with Channing Tatum's character.
Do you know her connection in New Jersey?
I feel like I've heard it before because it rings a bell, but I don't know.
She graduated from Princeton.
Oh.
Her undergrad's from Princeton.
Oh, that little old place.
Yeah. So that's my New Jersey connection. That's as close as it's going to get.
I was going to say, where's the theme song?
Get connected for free. New Jersey connection.
Did you draw that from like a commercial, like some other commercial or something?
Tom, are you joking?
I don't know it.
Do you not watch Maury like when you were sick and stuff?
I mean, not really.
Oh, it was like yeah, it's a whole rap song like this. Get connected for free. I forget what the word is. And then it's like, I went on the internet and typed in a connection.
All right.
It's like about like getting
going on the internet.
And no, it's like getting a degree to get a better job.
Oh, it's like a Berkeley College online thing.
For free with education connection.
Oh, I have heard this before.
I went on the internet and
I got
typed
you.
education connection. So yeah, I bit off of that. So hopefully we don't get sued for that.
I don't think they're around anymore. maybe we'll get them to sponsor us.
Oh my gosh! All right. So that's all I got. Give us a very PG.
Well, I will give you the taglines first.
Okay, and then give us
There's one that I can't say.
No.
This is obviously like a relatively family-friendly podcast, so this is going to be slightly toned down of an episode, but I don't think we're going to tone it down, but the content is going to be toned down.
Yes, we're going to make sure it's very, very PG.
So there's one that I can't say, but you can look it up, and it's on the main poster, and it is really funny. Another one is They're Too Old for This Shift, which is good.
Which is nice because it also throws back to Lethal Weapon, which is a buddy cop movie.
Yeah. That's a really good a double entendre. And the other one was They Thought the Streets Were Mean. Then they went back to high school.
That's cute too. I love, you know what? I just love all of the
I love taglines.
Taglines. They're the best.
Even the bad ones are good.
Tagline writers rock.
Shout out the tagline writers.
Shout out to the tagline writers.
Okay, so we're going to do the plot summary. I'm trying to pare them back a little bit, so hopefully it only take 2 minutes. All right. In 2005, nerdy student Morton Schmidt, played by Jonah Hill, and popular.
Wait, his name's Morton.
Yeah, his mom calls him Mort or something.
Oh my god.
And popular yet underachieving athlete Greg Jenko, played by Channing Tatum, missed their school prom. Schmidt rejected by a girl, Jenko due to failing grades. And Schmidt is like, it opens with the real Slim Shady playing, and he's got the bleach hair and the braces and the big white t-shirt. 7 years later, they meet at the police academy and become friends and partners on bike patrol. They arrest Domingo, the leader of a motorcycle gang, but Jenko fails to read his Miranda rights, and the police have to let him go. They're assigned to 21 Jump Street, a unit led by Captain Dixon, played by Ice Cube, which specializes in infiltrating high schools for whatever reason. They're assigned to Sagan High School to contain a drug called HFS. Dixon enrolls them and gives them new identities, mostly fitting their old performances, but they accidentally switch up their names. Schmidt meets a girl named Molly in drama class, played by Brie Larson, who points him in the direction of the lead dealer, Eric, played by Dave Franco, who makes Schmidt and Jenko take HFS in front of him. After feeling the effects and meeting gym teacher Mr. Walters, played by Rob Riggle, the pair get back to normal. Eric starts to like Schmidt and dislike Jenko because the roles are reversed at this school. Trying is cool and being lazy is frowned upon. Schmidt develops a crush on Molly, taking the lead role in Peter Pan to her Wendy, while Jenko becomes friends with the kids in AP Chemistry.
And we're just gonna brush over this. They just all. No one cares that he's actually 25.
Oh, Jenko and Schmidt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
part of. Well, they reference it a bunch. That's part of the premise.
I know.
They throw a party at Schmidt's parents' house, and a huge fight breaks out where Schmidt wins and gains Eric's trust, while Jenko's friends hack Eric's phone. Later, they overhear information about a meeting between Eric and his supplier, but catch Schmidt saying mean things about Jenko. A rift grows between the two, even as they track the HFS sellers, the motorcycle gang from the park, it turns out, and a chase ensues. Schmidt and Jenko get away. Oh, they're being chased.
Yeah.
They're not chasing the motorcycle guys. Schmidt and Jenko get away, but they make it back to the Peter Pan performance and have a fight on stage, getting them fired from Jump Street and expelled from school. Eric, terrified of the biker gang, picks up Schmidt and Jenko as security for his deal at the prom. There, they find out that Mr. Walters created the drug accidentally and started selling it to the kids to pay alimony to his ex-wife. He's the supplier, and he caught Eric smoking weed and made him be the school dealer.
Yep.
The gang arrives for the deal, but Molly, on HFS, interrupts them and argues with Schmidt, making Domingo recognize him and Jenko from the park. Right as the gang is about to kill Schmidt and Jenko, two of the gang members turn on them, revealing themselves to be Tom Hansen and Doug Penhall from the 21 Jump Street TV series.
That was a wild reveal.
Which was Johnny Depp and the other guy from the 21 Jump Street series.
David DeLuise or something?
Something like that. Peter? I don't know.
I think his brother is the dad in Wizards of Waverly
Dom
Place.
DeLuise?
Yeah. I'm not even kidding.
I believe you. They immediately get killed.
I know, that was wild.
As Mr. Walters escapes with Eric, Molly as a hostage, and the money. Schmidt and Jenko give chase as Jenko makes a homemade bomb using his app chemistry skills and kills the gang. Mr. Walters shoots at Schmidt, but Jenko takes the bullet for him and Schmidt shoots Mr. Walters. They arrest Mr. Walters and Eric, reading Mr. Walters his Miranda rights and celebrating. Schmidt and Molly then share a kiss. Both officers are congratulated and reinstated into Jump Street as Dixon gives them a new assignment, infiltrating a college.
Yep. Setting up 22 Jump Street. Wow, Tom, that was a very, very good sanitized
it was svelte
version of the movie. Excellent job.
Instead of like going through the whole plot now, I'm just trying to like remind you if you haven't seen it.
Main points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good. That was perfect. So, okay, the first thing, I didn't write any questions down until the movie was almost over.
Yeah, same.
Because you're just so into it. It's just so fun.
I was trying to think of them during it. I was like, I don't know, this is just funny, man.
So one of my things I thought about was like, I loved that they did the musical Peter Pan. Having Jonah Hill running around in a Peter Pan costume. And then when they fight, and then he's like, he keeps getting lifted up in the air.
Yes.
It's very, very
And Channing
funny.
Tatum like jumps and flies and like grabs him on the line as he's getting pulled across the stage.
Very funny. Can you think of a musical that would be even funnier to do than Peter Pan?
I feel like just because of the outfits and the situation, like Hamilton would be great.
That would be great.
Just like, you know, like all the colonial wear and like do it like in the middle of Yorktown. Just chaos everywhere.
Yeah, I like that. Grease would be fun.
Grease would be fun.
With he would wear like a leather jacket.
Yep.
That would be kind of cute.
There would be, and they could be in the car at the end, and so he can fly over.
That's not bad. That's not bad. A little homage there. Lion King.
Lion King would be good.
Dress as Simba.
What is it? What was it? Spider-Man Into the Dark or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Which everyone got injured during.
There were many injuries during that.
Yes. There was another one I had, but I can't remember it. You could also have it be like a really serious one.
Oklahoma.
Death of a Salesman.
Yeah, he'd be Willie Loman. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. You could do West Side Story.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. Lots of options there.
Honestly, any musical or play, just have them interrupt it, because I feel like it's that the audience to a musical or play is like a specific type of audience.
Or like, what about like Damn Yankees, and he just dresses as a baseball player?
Yeah, and then just the guy. Also, during this, Channing Tatum's in a suit, or not a suit, but like sort of like a jumpsuit with like felt balls painted on, like glued on it, because he was like a molecule or something for chemistry class.
Yeah.
At the same time as this is going on.
That was so cute. Very, very high school.
Yeah.
Except
he's like 28 years old.
Except they're all old. So this was, I think, like a super successful show to movie adaptation.
Ooh, I forgot to look this up.
I know. Can you even think of any? The one that comes to mind was a total bust. The 2005 Bewitched.
Oh yeah, with Will Ferrell.
Yeah, and Nicole Kidman.
The Many Saints of Newark, kind of.
Oh yeah, was that successful?
I mean, we're talking better than Bewitched.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Sex and the City.
Oh yeah.
Did you like those? I didn't watch them.
I did not see the second one. I heard it was awful. The first one does the job. Like yeah. You know, if you want a movie that from the show, okay, like yeah.
El Camino, the Breaking Bad movie.
Oh, I did not watch.
It was pretty good. I watched it on a plane.
I honestly like Breaking Bad's just not my thing.
What about Rugrats in Paris?
Oh, I loved that. Rugrats in Paris is so good.
You got Fifi.
The Rugrats movie too.
Yeah, true.
I went to see one of them in theaters.
I think I saw Paris in theaters.
That's a really good one, actually.
They counted this article, GQ article I'm looking at, counted the Jackass movies.
Oh, those are great. We love them.
Yeah. This says not counting their many-fold spin-offs, including the dreadful Bad Grandpa.
Oh, God.
Borat, because he was on the Ali G show.
Yeah. Borat. We just watched Borat 2 not that long ago.
Yeah. I did not like the original Borat. Borat 2
is actually pretty good.
Pretty good. Mission Impossible is based on a TV show.
Okay.
From the 60s.
Oh, yeah, like Get Smart.
It's based on Mission Impossible.
No, but Get Smart was
yes,
another one?
Yes. South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
I did not see that.
Star Trek.
Oh, yeah, I did watch Star Trek.
Simpsons movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then, of course, Many Saints of Newark is on here. Like, the ones that we already talked about were on here.
Wow.
There's not that many great ones.
So 21 Jump Street seems to be the best.
21 Jump Street was number 6 on that list.
It's weird because then you got, like, the opposite, like MASH.
Dukes of Hazzard. Wasn't there a Three Stooges movie not too long ago that was horrible?
Gosh.
Like 3 or 4 years ago?
I don't know.
I feel like John C. Reilly was in it or something. Let me see. Oh, wow. It was also 2012. Way longer ago than I thought it was.
Who was in that?
It wasn't John C. Reilly. It was Sean Hayes, Will Sasso, and Chris Diamantopoulos.
Oh, all-star cast.
Jane Lynch, Sofia Vergara, Jennifer Hudson, Larry David. Yeah, I think we're good on...
That's so random.
I think we're good on the Three Stooges.
Okay. What about Eurovision? Does that count?
I mean, I guess I would say that's more of a competition.
Yeah, TV competition.
Yeah, but that would be like saying, a movie like a movie about the Super Bowl would be a TV show to movie.
They should make that.
It's more of a competition.
That would be really good.
The NFL probably wouldn't let them unless it was like hyper, sanitized or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because then at that point you could say that Hustle is based on an NBA game that's aired on TV.
Yes, exactly.
What about Gran Turismo?
Gran Turismo. I thought you were going to say Gran Torino. Gran Turismo is a video game.
Oh, okay. So that's in the same category as a Last of Us and right?
Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario. Wow. Adaptations. They're wild. But I think that 21 Jump Street seems to be the number one most successful.
Maybe, sure. By our metric, which is we just said that.
This movie came out in 2012, right? And smack dab in the middle of our college experience. Yes. Like this movie makes me think of college more than maybe any other movie.
This may be the most college movie. I have a specific memory about The Expendables from college. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
What are some other movies that make you think back to college?
The Expendables.
Besides The Expendables.
Why? I can't talk about The Expendables?
Oh, you can talk about it.
Yeah, so it was played in the lounge at our dorm
mm-hmm.
in freshman year, and then like all the guys went to go see it, and then we all went upstairs into the quad and had like everyone just wrestled each other.
I did not know that this happened.
Yeah.
And I was there. I was like on that floor.
Nick wrestled like 4 people in a row, and then he wrestled me because I wasn't wrestling anybody. I was playing Madden with AJ, and then he was like, wrestle me, because everybody was like, stop, we're done. And I beat him because he was so weak from wrestling 4 other people.
Freshman year of college was truly
This was early on.
Insane.
This was early on. I would say October.
You get
November.
to know people really quickly.
Yeah. I think this was after Halloween because Nick and I became friends on Halloween. So
right.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Any other movies make you think of college?
The Gray, because I saw it twice when we were in college.
Okay.
Which was a wolf movie with
Liam Neeson.
And it came right off of Taken, so all the marketing was like, this is just going to be Liam Neeson fighting wolves. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But it was really like a slower sort of meditation on mortality.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
But there was some cool action in it too.
Yeah.
But they showed the ending in the trailer.
Yeah.
The final frame.
Yep.
So, yeah, The Gray is one of them. What about you?
I have a lot.
Inception for me too.
Oh,
I didn't watch it in college because I was contrarian and everyone loved it. But it reminds me of college.
Okay. I saw Scott Pilgrim vs. the World downstairs in the lounge.
Oh, okay.
That was one that I went to see.
For those of you who don't know, Erin and I were on the same freshman floor, and that was how we met in college.
Yeah, but we didn't date until after freshman year.
After freshman year, yeah.
Like right after freshman year. We were just good old buds.
We watched a movie together. We watched a couple movies together.
Uh-huh.
The Prestige?
Yeah, The Prestige and Machete.
Yeah.
Halloween, Back to the Hood.
Was that when the one I don't want to name everybody because we don't talk to everybody anymore, but was that when the one person came into the room and ate all the gummy bear vitamins? Do you remember who that was?
Yes.
That was amazing.
That was not when that. No, that was a different time.
Because I was there. I was in.
Eating so many gummy bear vitamins.
I was in Nick's room watching another. Must have been another movie.
Oh my god, that is so funny.
We watched one of the Leprechaun movies together too, I think.
Oh, it was Leprechaun Back to the Hood, not Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we watched Halloween sophomore year. Halloween Resurrection with Busta Rhymes sophomore year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We watched a couple others too, but I forget.
There was one that I watched with you and your roommate that I think she picked, and I was like, what is this?
Oh my god, not that Paul Walker one.
I don't think it was that one, but it was like one.
She picked the worst movies I've ever, and it would always be like, this one is so good. No, one of them
is kind of iconic though.
The one was Running Scared with Paul Walker.
Don't think it was that
one. It had
one.
like the most disturbing scene I'd ever seen. And then she's like, "Oh, my other favorite, American History X," which is like
that was it.
Not
I think
a
I watched
bad
that
movie,
I
but
think
it's
I watched
like,
that one. I think I watched that one with you guys.
Like I'm like, okay, can we watch like a cute
10 Things
like,
I Hate About You?
Yeah, can we watch 13 Going on 30? And
John
like,
Tucker Must
How
Die.
about American History X? Or this movie where this kid gets kidnapped, Running Scared. I'm like, this is awful.
We watched Gone Baby Gone, which is a movie where kid gets kidnapped.
I'm not against watching those types of movies, but like when those are all your favorite movies, that should have been my first red flag. I also think of like Pitch Perfect is a college movie for me. Also, like a lot of things that were watched in college or talked about were from before. So like Anchorman, people talk about, and like Dark Knight and stuff like that, where it's like, okay, that was pre-college, but people
Dark Knight was 2 years before college for us.
Talk about like, ooh, what movies do you like? And those got brought up a lot.
Well, and all like everyone had like a Fight Club poster and like those
things
types
like
of
that.
movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Animal House.
Right.
There was at least like 5 people on our floor that had Animal House poster.
Like, okay.
I tried to switch it up. I had an Always Sunny poster.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me of the first time I met you and Chris Chan.
Yeah.
And Chris Chan had on an It's Always Sunny shirt.
Philadelphia.
And I said, oh, It's Always Sunny. I like that show. And he like didn't believe me. And I'm like,
he like ignored you.
He like didn't answer me.
We were shook actually, Chan and I, at that point. So I don't think
you missed the meeting.
Yeah,
the floor meeting.
We missed our first meeting because we were like, oh, they'll come and get us.
That's so embarrassing. That is so boys at their first day of college.
Either one or both of us took a nap. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly.
Like, yeah, you were fine. You were nice. You talked to everybody. Christian literally ignored me when I spoke directly to him about like trying to compliment him about his shirt.
We gotta do like World War Z and have Chan on.
I wonder if he remembers that.
Gotta ask him.
Probably not. I was just shook. And then what also reminds me of college is every February, my friend Lisa, who you share a birthday with,
yes,
we would go to whatever awful romance movie was playing for
the one that you went
Valentine's Day. We would go stay. Like The Vow was one of them.
Channing Tatum.
Yeah, that movie was awful.
Was that the one you didn't get?
What do you mean?
Remember?
No, that was How to Be Single, starring Queen Dakota Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah, I apparently just didn't understand it, and someone told me. Anyway, you know, the very complex movie.
Thank God no one listens to this
Rebel
podcast.
Wilson. And I also think about there was something. Oh yeah, I didn't see Prisoners. But
I don't think I saw it at the time.
A lot of my friends went to go see it in the movie theater, and then
we're scarred.
I forget if they called me on the way home. They were scared driving home.
Paul Dano's gonna get him.
Yeah.
Who was the mom again?
Oh, I forget. Someone famous.
A good actress. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are a lot of movies from college. College was great.
Yeah.
I loved college. It was such a great experience.
In fact, we went to college when the song "I Love College" was around by Asher Roth.
It it came out like right before.
I think it was 2009.
We lucked out with a lot of stuff, man. We were there during LMFAO's time in the sun.
Hype.
You got some like nice EDM vibes going on. You got the Kesha, you got the Pitbull.
Wiz Khalifa played at our school.
It's
all the big names.
It's everything. It honestly was the perfect time to
Panic
go
at
to
the Disco played too, right?
Panic at the Disco played. I saw Jack's Mannequin.
I saw Panic at the Disco playing basketball in the rec center.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. They were not good, as you would imagine.
I wouldn't imagine. I don't know. So there's a lot of famous people in this movie. Who's the MVP? And I know you're going to say the same person as me.
We're going to say Dave Franco.
Dave Franco.
He is very, very funny in this movie. He has the most unique delivery on some of his lines.
It's my favorite line, where he says,
It's at the end when everyone finds out that Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum are cops, and they're about to have like the big shootout.
Yeah. And he says, "Is it you bought me?"
Yeah.
You bought me Taco Bell. The emphasis on the bell.
Like, it's not Taco Bell.
No, you bought me Taco Bell. It changed my life.
He says something else.
With the way Dave Franco says Taco Bell in 21 Jump Street changed my life. Because I never knew, like, it was like the first time that just the way someone delivered a line made me laugh so hard.
He also says in that scene when Domingo is like, "Who are your friends over there?" And he goes, he's like, "Oh, they're guys that I know or whatever.
Cool, yeah.
They're cool." And he's like, "I don't like strangers." And Dave Franco goes, "Everybody's a stranger until you give them a chance." Like this huge like drug dealer.
He's so good. I love him in this movie.
And he goes, "You don't care about the environment? That's effed up, man."
He's just the best.
Yeah.
I think, and
also the grape line that he says twice.
Oh, that's wild. Everything he says is so good.
He has such good delivery in this movie.
Yeah, I love it. He's such a superstar. I mean, that's the only answer.
Yeah.
Besides Dave Franco, though, who would you give it to? Do you know who's actually really funny in it is Rob Riggle?
He is. There's no issues with him, right?
I don't think so.
Like problematic
Yeah,
wise?
he's chilling.
Yeah.
He does like the NFL thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, Jonah Hill is unfortunately really funny.
I know.
Channing Tatum is also really funny. Everyone's funny in this movie. Even Molly has her moments. Like, she has a couple lines here and there that are really funny.
Yeah.
Like when she talks about how she lies to Jonah Hill on the phone about how like her dad, like her parents got killed in like a crash.
Yeah.
And like it's just to disarm him.
Right.
And but the way that she like pulls it down is like, oh, she's good at, like, she gets the timing right.
Yeah. Do you know who's really good in this movie? Ice Cube. He's really good.
Infiltrate the dealers.
Like, any of his lines.
Find the suppliers. Yeah, and then every other line. Most of them, almost all of his stuff I read was improvised.
It's so funny.
Outside of, I guess, like the plot related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so good. All right. So 21 Jump Street or 22 Jump Street?
It's really hard for me to tell without having rewatched 22 recently.
I'm going to say 21, and do you know what the reason is?
Because there's more Dave Franco.
There's more Dave Franco.
There's also My Name is Jeff.
Oh, that's
from the second
good
one
too. And the slam poetry scene.
Oh my god. Well, Channing Tatum and Wyatt Russell are great together in that movie too. They are
great together.
And Jillian Bell.
Yeah. Oh.
Is the roommate.
Jillian Bell's in that.
Yeah.
She's so funny.
Yeah. I think that 22 Jump Street kind of goes way off the map at the end.
Yeah.
21 does, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, like everything that happens at the end of 21 Jump Street is sort of within the universe of 21 Jump Street.
Right.
22 kind of goes a little bit crazy.
Yeah, when they go to spring break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really funny.
Oh, wait, I love 22.
We got to rewatch 22 soon.
What I do like about 21 Jump Street though is it really is all tied together and things come back and
there's a much easier New Jersey connection for 22 Jump Street.
What is it?
The Lucas brothers.
Oh, the Lucas brothers.
Yeah.
Yes.
TC and J grads.
Oh my gosh, I love the Lucas brothers. Oscar nominees. Yeah, so I don't know. Now I don't know.
I don't know either. Listen to this cast in 22. It's all your main people, no Brie Larson, but there's Amber Stevens.
Yep.
Queen
Latifah's in it, right?
Jillian Bell, the Lucas brothers, Nick Offerman, who was also in this, Jimmy Tatro, Mark Evan Jackson, Queen Latifah, H. John Benjamin, Patton Oswalt, Bill Hader, Anna Faris, Seth Rogen.
Okay, yeah. The cast is stacked.
Yeah.
I don't know which one. I have to rewatch 22.
We got to rewatch 22.
All right. Well, what other movies have worthy sequels besides The Jump Street?
Other movies in general?
Other movies in general, besides The Godfather.
Star Wars.
Ugh,
the first 2 sequels.
These are such bad. That's a bad answer.
It's a good answer.
It's an obvious answer.
Okay.
Because what's the Empire? They strike back, and it's like, oh, that's good.
It created sequels.
Well, yeah.
Which is good and bad, I guess.
Yeah. Is that a good thing? Are you pro sequel?
I am pro movies.
Oh.
The more movies there are, the better, even when the movies are whatever Mattel is doing with all these different toy movies.
Yeah.
I guess I can't say I'm pro sequel always, but because I'm always like, who asked for this? But, maybe somebody going to see, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is going to get them into other movies. So, I don't know.
I'm pro sequel for one reason only.
What?
Joker 2 Folie à Deux.
Yes. Yes.
If that means
your hope in sequels will be determined when Joker 2 Folie à Deux comes out.
Exactly. If Joker 2 Folie à Deux is really, really like my thing, I'm gonna
Joker
be
1
like,
was not. If you
it was not. I
have
did
not
not
listened to
like
our
Joker
prior
1. I like actively disliked
I
it.
really didn't like it either. It was terrible.
So to me, once Joker 2 Folie à Deux comes out and I watch it, that moment I will figure out if I'm pro sequel or like sequel.
What about the squeakquel?
I never saw it.
Me either. Thought you might have some insight on that.
Nope, never saw it. I know that me personally, I'm not a huge sequel person, like with my past.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally reasonable because I find it to be a lot of them are just money grabs.
If it's meant for like trilogy or 2 movies, I'm good with it.
Like Dune Part 1 was made to also have Dune Part 2.
Exactly. Like something like that I'm good with. But I don't like when a movie is successful, so they're like, oh, we're going to make a second one.
Counterpoint. What about all those like Halloween 8s that are just like hilarious, like Halloween Resurrection?
I say all that, but like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's fun, but I don't watch them.
Yeah, but we have watched them.
Yeah, but not really. We've watched like a couple.
But they're available.
I don't know.
I see. I find those funny. Like I've watched most of the Chucky movies, like all like 6 or 7 of them. I haven't seen the most recent one, but or the one with Aubrey Plaza. But I watched all the ones up to like Seed of Chucky.
I'm not anti-sequel. Me personally, I don't watch a lot of them.
No, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like that's what I mean by saying I'm pro movie. Like I'm glad that most of these movies exist.
Did we need Now You See Me 2?
I didn't see Now You See Me 1.
Did we need Anchorman 2?
We needed Now You See Me 2, but it had the wrong subtitle.
Now you don't.
Yeah. We did not need Anchorman 2.
See, like a lot of these.
We didn't need Zoolander 2.
Right.
We didn't need. What was the one that Nick sent something the other day in our group chat that was a sequel, and I was like, what is. Might have been a couple weeks ago. It's like, why?
We also bought a zoo.
Well, Channing Tatum, when he was in G.I. Joe, whatever the first one was.
Yeah. Rise of Cobra.
He said he was in it. He tried to get out of it. He rejected it 7 times. And the studio, I watched a video of him doing a lie detector test with Vanity Fair today for 15 minutes. And he said that, and this was true. He said that he rejected the movie G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra 7 times, but he was optioned by the studio, so he had to do it. And so he was also in the second one, G.I. Joe Retaliation, and he begged them to kill his character off, and they did in the first scene of G.I. Joe Retaliation.
There you go.
He was like, I really did not want to do those movies.
That's amazing.
So Channing Tatum is specifically anti-G.I. Joe sequel and also the original, but...
There you go. Not 22 Jump Street, though. That is a worthy sequel.
Yeah.
I'm done with questions.
When are we going to get like Foxcatcher 2?
That we don't need that. I didn't love that movie.
No, I didn't either. But Steve Carell had an amazing prosthetic nose in that movie.
We're not talking prosthetic
noses. Oh, yeah, this is a bad time for prosthetic noses.
No.
Okay. I have a couple questions. Did you do anything cool in science class?
We watched Gattaca.
It wasn't like, oh, we did the Mentos and the Diet Coke thing.
Yeah, in my Aunt Sue's class, I had her for 6th grade science. We dissected owl pellets.
Do you think we could do that tomorrow? We're going to see her tomorrow.
I hope that she does not have owl pellets to dissect. I found like a full skeleton of something in there. That was pretty awesome, actually. It was disgusting, but it was pretty cool. I didn't like most of the dissection stuff.
I only dissected a frog, I think.
Like, that freaked me out. What else did I do?
Some people like dissect cats.
Yeah, like that's what my dad, I think, had to do that in college. And I got so scared. I never had to do anything like
What did he do? What was his major in college?
Criminology.
Why was he dissecting cats in college?
You had to take a science.
I was also a criminology major.
I don't know.
I took astronomy in college. It was a terrible idea.
Well, there you go. What else did I do in science that was fun? We watched Black Hawk Down.
Oh yeah, physics.
One of my science teachers came to the Disney trip, and she did the hula during the luau.
Okay. That's pretty fun. Not in science class, but
it's not in science class, I guess. We didn't. I mean, I'm not. I
saw like amoebas.
I'm not like a science kind of girl.
Neither
so like something that it's like, oh, cool. Like we got to build. You have to build a roller coaster that actually works.
Yeah, we didn't do that either.
I did that, but I didn't care.
We watched Contact.
Okay, yeah.
Which was an alien movie, which was cool.
Yeah. It's how sad is that? Like that this is like our science teachers probably poured their hearts into all of our lessons and blah blah blah.
I actually had, I think, 2 or 3 different science teachers who were retiring that year. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff that I did. It wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't take like physics in high school.
I did.
So I didn't do anything like cool like that. I took bio and chemistry, and I hated both of them. Okay, next question.
Wow.
So I'm going to leave this up to you. I have 2 questions, but you can choose whichever one you want to answer. It's about the teachers. So there's 3 teachers in this movie. There is a sort of obnoxious, pontificating drama teacher played by Chris Parnell of every animated show and Anchorman and
SNL, right?
Yeah, fame. He is he's like the guy in Archer. He's like in he's like in a ton of animated stuff.
He's also in 30 Rock.
He's also in he's Dr. Spaceman.
Yes.
Dr. Spaceman.
Yeah.
The other teachers are Mr. Walters, Rob Riggle, the crazy gym teacher.
You never really see Teach. You see him coach a little bit.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah.
When he's coaching track.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the third one is Ellie Kemper's character, who is just fawning over Channing Tatum the entire movie. I want you to either rank them by how good of a teacher you think they are, or by how good of a colleague you think they would be, because obviously you're going back to teach soon.
Not gonna do colleague, because I don't think I would want any of them to be my colleagues.
Probably not the guy who was leading the drug ring.
Probably not. No. I'm gonna go by teacher, and I'm gonna go strictly by the lesson plans I saw in class. So Ellie Kemper, I'm gonna put as number 1. Because
honestly, not surprising whatsoever. That's an easy number 1.
Yeah, because she had interesting, like fun projects that they did, which were probably not appropriate for an AP science class, but still like cool ideas. The kids seemed into it.
Very attentive to the students.
Well, we're not putting that in. Like, no. She also had some classroom management techniques in there. For example, she had a hurry back pass where if you go to the bathroom and you're not back in 6 minutes, you got to go to the principal. So those things I think were, she did Quiznos gift cards.
Oh, yeah. Which came out of her own pocket.
Which you know that was coming. And so I think that she let some of the science kids who maybe weren't the most popular kids hang out in her classroom to like work on science stuff
outside of class.
Yeah, and yeah. I think that that's all positive. Her other stuff maybe not, but yeah. The lesson plans,
wildly inappropriate personality.
Exactly. Then I'm going with Chris Parnell.
All 3 of these people have wildly inappropriate personalities.
Yeah. Chris Parnell, because honestly the play didn't look that bad.
No, I was gonna say it seemed like a pretty good production.
Yeah. And he, again...
He had an Oscar-winning actress as his lead?
Yeah. I mean, it's great. But he also clearly had expectations. Like, everyone tries out for Peter, so you have to try out for Peter. Things like that. And then Rob Riggle's last because I didn't see him teach. He was running a very illegal scheme.
Even if you take out the illegal scheme, I feel like he's just not... He's very much about himself. So is Chris Parnell, but Chris Parnell, we've at least seen the fruits of his labor.
Exactly. Yes. We just saw the only thing that we saw Rob Riggle do school-wise was his team lost.
The track team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even that wasn't successful.
Very much a large part because of Jonah Hill.
Yes, exactly.
What about your favorite teacher characters in movies? We may have talked about that. We may have touched on this with the Breakfast Club, but maybe not. I don't think we did. Or School of Rock way back in the day.
Oh, School of Rock, yeah. Who's a good teacher from movies that it's like not dated? Like Freedom Writers.
Dead Poet Society?
Yeah, Dead Poet Society.
He was a professor, though.
No, that was in a high school.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So I guess him, right?
Or like Stand and Deliver, like all these like random old movies.
Like that's Freedom Writers.
I missed on the 12 Angry Men episode. We watched Stand and Deliver like 5 times in school.
I've never seen that movie.
It's good. Edward James Olmos, the god.
I'm going to say this, though. Abbott Elementary is a really great portrayal of teachers. Yeah. I went to public school from kindergarten all the way through my undergrad. You
Same.
Went to all kinds of schools. All of them were public schools. Mm-hmm. And I love public schools. I'm always a big proponent of that. And Abbott Elementary does a great job of showing the positives of it, with teachers that are dedicated and still fun and have their own lives. And I think that that's a positive portrayal of teachers.
Yeah. Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World.
That's also an excellent...
Not a movie, but...
Class dismissed.
Miss Honey from Matilda.
Oh, yeah. She's great. Did I ever tell you the time... I probably did. Years ago, a student came up to me after class and she's like, you know, you really remind me of the teacher from Matilda. And I'm like, Miss Honey?
No.
She said, no.
Miss Trunchbull?
Miss Trunchbull? I said, first of all, that's the principal. No. I was like, are you joking? And she said, yeah.
What about Miss Norbury from Mean Girls?
She actually was a good teacher. She actually was a good teacher, yeah. That's a great example.
She felt real, too.
She did feel that she was a real teacher. Yeah, that's a great example. Oh, how about the ones from Clueless? Cher tries to set them up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not the ones from Easy A.
No. Actually, C. Thomas Howell, is that? No, who would play the
you're
teacher?
talking about the guy from Sideways, right?
Yeah.
What is his name?
I love him.
It's not C. Thomas Howell.
No. Thomas Hayden Church.
Thomas Hayden Church, yes.
Thomas Hayden Church, he was a good teacher.
Oh, they have Lawrence Fishburne and Akilah and the Bee.
Oh, yeah. He's not a school teacher. He's her
Just
tutor. Yeah. That's a great movie.
He's a professor.
Yeah, right.
I don't agree with this one. Veronica Vaughn from Billy Madison.
Oh, no.
She was not a very good teacher.
No.
Yeah, that's the list I just saw. Also, Arnold Schwarzenegger in Kindergarten Cop, not the best teacher.
Probably not. That would be my guess, too. And then Dewey from School of Rock.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, not as bad as you'd think.
Extremely unscrupulous in the way that he gets the job.
Yeah.
But
a
pretty good teacher.
You know, he does.
Also didn't teach any of the things that you're supposed to.
No, but if you're going with you do the student interest projects.
Yeah.
That sort of vibe. And it's less, it's more student led, less teacher centered.
Yeah.
Hey, he made it work that way.
He's just trying to vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good set of teachers.
I think so too.
Okay. Are there any actors not known for comedy that you think would be good in them? So, like, for example, Channing Tatum in this, before this had been in, he was famous for Step Up for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he was in a bunch of stuff that like kind of was tepidly received, like The Eagle and like stuff like that. And he was very serious, and they were trying to push him as like a leading man type.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I didn't really think it was too successful up until this point. But then I feel like when he was able to do this and he did Magic Mike the same year, that sort of changed the trajectory of his career. So do you think that there's anybody and Magic Mike there were funny parts, but it wasn't a funny movie. But he showed some comedic chops in 2012 as a whole. Do you think that there are any other actors not known for comedy that would be good, that you would like to see in a comedic role?
Well, I already saw him in one. Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Jason Statham was so good in Spy.
I feel like he's been in a couple of those, but it's not his main forte.
He's so funny.
It's got to be somebody who understands what they are and is able to poke fun at themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that rules out like a Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he takes acting too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Like guys like him take acting too seriously.
Do you know who I want to see in a funny role? Timothy Chalamet. He was
More
the funniest part of Don't Look Up.
Yeah.
He was barely in it.
And I find him to be at his best when he's poking fun at himself, like in Lady Bird as well.
Exactly.
Like he's poking fun at that type of pretentious character. He's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been miscast into the comparison that I've seen is that Hollywood was trying to make him Leo DiCaprio,
mm-hmm.
and he's not that. He's not the same type of actor, and he's not the same type of personality.
Right.
I think there's going to be a movie, and it's not going to be Dune. It's good. There's going to be a movie that he just smashes, and we're like, oh, that's what he can do. This is what he should be doing.
Right.
I don't think it's quite happened yet, in my opinion, but he's been in some really good stuff. Like, not that he's a bad actor or anything. Like, I love Dune, but I mean, I don't think the Paul character in the first Dune book is very dynamic anyway. But I feel like there's something that's untapped there.
There you go. I mean, Ryan Gosling with Ken.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling shows that he can be really funny.
He is Kenough.
He is Kenough.
Was he in any other comedies? He's been in like rom-coms, but
like rom-coms. Crazy Stupid Love he's funny in.
Yeah.
But this, I think, it blew wide open.
Yeah.
And he better get that Oscar nom. Who else? I don't know who else. Who do you think?
The main person that I was thinking of, or Ryan Gosling was on the top of my head as well. I mean, he's probably, if he leaned into this type of stuff, I think he would be great at it. And well, he did. Was he in The Nice Guys?
Yeah.
With Russell Crowe?
Yeah, that was
really
a
comedy.
Funny. That was a funny movie.
Yeah. We got to rewatch that one too. Yeah, no, I think that's a good set.
Yeah.
Those are all the questions that I have. So, should I do
Channing Tatum segment?
No, I'll do my notes first. I only had 3.
Segment.
One of them was just that Dave Franco was so good in this.
The best.
I also noted the Straight Outta Compton needle drop and a cut to Ice Cube.
That is, and it even says Ice Cube in it.
Yep. It's as he's saying his name is Ice Cube. My third note, totally coincidental, but these guys are just as bad as undercover cops as Johnny Utah is in Point Break, which we covered extensively last week.
They're very, very bad.
And both movies ruin a DEA investigation.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Did they get inspired by Point Break, do you think?
Yeah, it's more Point Break than 21 Jump Street, the series. And it's about a bromance.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. It's Point Break 2, 21 Jump Street.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So I have a segment I want to do about Channing Tatum. I've kind of been going off the rails a little bit the last couple of weeks with sort of interesting things that I found about the movie. 21 Jump Street I feel like is sort of too recent to have like big stories about it.
Yeah.
So I decided to do a little deep dive on Channing Tatum because I find him to be an interesting actor in person. So as I said, I think that being in 21 Jump Street sort of changed his career. There are plenty of like handsome, chiseled actors who just faded away or are just not, like what happened to Gerard Butler.
Oof, that's gotta hurt.
But I feel that Channing Tatum, what puts him above a lot of those actors is that he's able to sort of bring you in. He's very good at pathos and sort of getting you to connect with him on more than like a superficial level. And I think I looked up his background and everything, and I feel like it comes because he's like sort of from humble beginnings. Like I mentioned, he just went from, he lived in a rural area in Mississippi, moved to Florida. It was like northern Florida too, because I think Magic Mike is Tampa. I think that was where he was in that area. His mom used to call him Chanimal because he was really busy, and when they asked him what busy meant, he said it was easier to take me to the hospital than it was to get me to stop climbing stuff.
My gosh.
Which
that's our future.
I get that. So he dropped out of college. He had a football scholarship, and it wasn't at the University of West Virginia because they're like D1, like crazy good, but it was at a college in West Virginia. And then he moved back to Florida. He started doing like jobs. He became a dancer at a club, which inspired Magic Mike. He got his big break in 2000. He was around 20 years old when he was paid $400 to be in
the music video?
The music video for She Bangs by Ricky Martin.
Love it. I mean, that's great.
He thanked Ricky Martin because his friend hooked him up with the the gig. So he's like, I always thank Liz, my friend, but I've never actually thanked Ricky Martin before. So he looked at the camera and he was like, thank you, Ricky Martin.
I love that.
Then he moved into modeling, and then he got cast in She's the Man with Amanda Bynes.
Great movie.
And Step Up the same year, which was his huge breakout into being that leading man type.
She's the Man is a funny movie. Like, so he did his comedy thing there too.
Yeah.
There's actually this great scene where he like has a flip phone and he's like answering the phone. He's like, it's really funny. I don't know.
After that, he kind of got cast in a bunch of crappy stuff that was just making him money, like Dear John.
I saw that.
We mentioned all the other ones already. He auditioned for Jump Street, he got cast, and he showed he could make a comedy, and he made Magic Mike the same year. In both roles, he kind of takes an iffy premise and turns it into something affecting.
No. Magic Mike is a great movie.
No, it is. So I feel like that opens him up to sort of do whatever he wanted. Because like if you look at him in the next few years, his next role, or one of his next roles, was his memorable role in This Is the End.
Yes.
Which was also comedic.
Yes.
He did the Lego Movie, Foxcatcher, White House Down. So he's working with big time directors like Quentin Tarantino and The Hateful Eight, and Hal Caesar, the Coen brothers. He did 6 movies with Steven Soderbergh. So after those 2 movies, he just sort of exploded. And he's a moneymaker too. So even after all the ones I've named, he co-directed, co-produced, and starred in the movie Dog in 2022. Yep. Remember? It's a comedy drama road film where he's an army ranger who has to take the military dog of his fallen friend to the friend's funeral. And it got good reviews. It was a box office success. It made $85 million off a $15 million budget. So he's got more talents than just acting. I just always found him to be really interesting. And obviously he made sequels to 21 Jump Street and Step Up and Magic Mike. And those have mostly been successful. So I read an article by Matt Zoller Seitz, who I think is how you pronounce his name. He's an editor on RogerEbert.com and a TV critic for Vulture. And it was titled A True Movie Star on the Career of Channing Tatum. And he wrote it in May 2022. Some of the things he said were basically that he's his own person, but at the same time, just enough of a blank that audiences can project identification and or desire onto him. The whole article is basically saying that when people say that there's no movie stars today, they're wrong, and that Channing Tatum is one of those movie stars.
I'm convinced.
So he says that that's the sweet spot that all stars hit in their own way, and when Tatum is cast and directed just right, he hits it better than almost anyone except for Brad Pitt. Few modern male screen stars are as adept at being likable without seeming to pander. He's also done plenty of R-rated films, but you never get the feeling that he chose the material in order to establish himself as a serious actor. But even when Tatum's characters are domineering or self-regarding, there's rarely a wantonly nasty or ugly aspect to his on-screen energy. A fundamental decency comes through no matter what. Whether he's playing a man who's selfishly cunning or sweet and dumb, the character always seems like the sort of person who might pull over to help somebody fix a flat tire during a rainstorm rather than keep on driving, which creates the possibility of surprise no matter what. Writer-editor Emily Hughes summed up the light magic charisma of Tatum in musicals and comedies, like a golden retriever cursed by a witch. A lot of his success in various genres comes back to what seems like a lack of self-regard. He doesn't indicate, signal, underline, boldface, or otherwise make a point of telling you that he gets it, whatever it is. No matter who he's playing or what scene the character is entangled in, Tatum always defaults to seeming like he's not in on the joke, or barely aware of it and not letting on because he fears he might not understand it, which is just as funny as being oblivious. One can imagine him reading this piece and then forgetting all about it on purpose because self-consciousness is the last thing an actor, dancer, comedian, drama star, or action hero needs. And I thought that was a really interesting article.
I think so.
I'm always excited when Channing Tatum's in something.
I love him.
Yeah, I think he's great.
Go Channing Tatum.
Except for Magic Mike 3, which I had no interest in.
But listen, I think that there's something to be said for an actor who you feel like is nice.
And he's not the same
character. No, it's not the same character, no.
Like, if you compare him literally in all those movies from the same time, from this, Magic Mike, Foxcatcher, all 3 of those, he's wildly different. He's wildly different in Logan Lucky, which is another Soderbergh movie that he was in.
Yep.
I think he's an underrated actor, and I think that he doesn't get a lot of the credit that he probably deserves.
Channing Tatum, we're waiting for your big Oscar moment.
Yeah. I feel like there's a possibility. I could see one
Get him the right role.
Him sneaking in, you know?
Get him the right role. Maybe 23 Jump Street.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the one. All right. So I'll do my trivia. It was a little hard to find some trivia for this movie, but I scrounged. First one. When Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum come across the biker gang in the park, one of the bikers says, "If them boys is cops, I'm DEA." And it's one of the guys who ended up being a DEA agent later.
That's funny.
Johnny Depp's character, Tom Hansen, eats in every scene where he appears. Hansen ate often in the original 21 Jump Street TV series, sometimes several times an episode, and did so often in scenes vital to the plot.
There you
go.
I
guess it was like a running joke. When Schmidt and Jenko take HFS, Jenko remarks that it tastes like Cool Ranch. Soon afterwards, they run into Coach Walters carrying a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos.
That gives it away.
Yeah.
Clue.
Number 4, Tom Hansen has been undercover for years with the villains using the alias DB. Following 21 Jump Street, the series, Depp played another cop who went undercover long-term with criminals, Donnie Brasco. So that was probably a reference to that. And number 5, this is not related to the movie, but it's something I found in my Channing Tatum research. His daughter got into a fight with Sandra Bullock's daughter in school. They went to the same school. And he and Sandra Bullock had to sit down and hash it out in the principal's office.
Amazing.
And the lie detector test found out that he was telling the truth.
That's so cool. Were they in a movie together?
They were. It was not too long ago, I don't think.
Yeah. I feel like they were in a movie
Lost City.
together.
Yeah, that's was that the Clooney one that she was in? Oh no, that was a different one.
No, that's the one that just came out. It was like on Amazon or something.
Yeah. The Lost City is it's Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum, Daniel Radcliffe, Divine Joy Randolph, Brad Pitt.
I was gonna say I think Brad Pitt's in it.
And it's an action adventure type thing.
Fun.
Yeah. After that, I have Roger Ebert's review. He got to it because it was 2012.
Yes.
And guess what he gave it?
3.
3 out of 4 stars.
I know my Ebert, baby.
He said, there might have been a temptation to write Schmidt and Jenko as rivals, but it's more effective here to develop them as friends who screw up together. They were pre-enrolled by Captain Dixon in hand-picked classes, but trouble starts when they can't remember their undercover names and are assigned to each other's classes. That means Schmidt ends up playing Peter Pan in drama class, and Jenko is in advanced chemistry. Apparently, the conviction that we got high school all wrong is universal. Now, Schmidt and Jenko get a fresh start, and Schmidt even gets another chance to ask a girl, sweet Brie Larson, to the prom. Meanwhile, they're seeking the source of drugs in the high school, which inevitably involves chase scenes and a motorcycle gang, including a fat, bald guy with high rider handlebars. As usual, the chases and explosions are boring. What it all comes down to is a funnier and sweeter movie than I had any way of expecting, and the debut of Channing Tatum as an actor who can play comedy. He deadpans so well here, he might start looking at Cary Grant movies for remake ideas.
Oh, wow.
Ebert was is a Tatum fan.
I love it.
Yeah.
Good job, Rod.
And he unfortunately didn't get to see a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, right.
So,
but he knows people. When he picks them, he knows stars.
Yeah. Yeah, Channing Tatum's the best. What else we got? Anything?
I don't think so.
That might be it. That might be 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
I think it is.
A low-key episode. It's hard to do comedy episodes.
It really is, because we're not like funny enough to make jokes out of the comedy, because comedy, they're really good at it. But yeah, anyway, does 21 Jump Street make Baby's first watch list?
Yeah.
Basically when I watched it, or when I was watching like Superbad and those types of movies.
Yeah, exactly. Late high school.
Yeah, and it's a definite.
Oh, yeah.
I also just found something that I missed for a trivia, and it was just like weird casting stuff. The lead, the Brie Larson role was originally supposed to be Emma Stone, which would have been a Superbad thing. But she dropped out because she had scheduling conflicts with The Amazing Spider-Man. And other auditions were Gemma Ward, Julianne Hough, Juno Temple, and Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay.
Also, J.K. Simmons said he was considered for the Nick Offerman role, that one little scene.
Yeah.
But scheduling conflicts prevented him. He said upon seeing the movie that this was one of the few he would have liked to play.
You never know.
He would have actually fit a few of these roles.
Yeah.
And the director, just totally bizarre. They wanted Rob Zombie to direct this movie.
It's very strange. That would not have gone well.
That would have been insane. It would have been bloodier than it was.
Yes.
All right, so I sort of went patchwork there, but do you have any takeaways from this movie?
No.
I would say don't box yourself into like being something in high school.
I like that. How about know the Miranda rights?
Always know your rights.
There you go.
Period.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so that's 21 Jump Street. So next up, we're going to talk about our September schedule.
Yay.
It's already September.
We're ready. Fall is coming, people.
It's almost here, and it's going to be gone in like the 2 weeks that we now get fall weather.
Oh my gosh. Hopefully we get nice fall weather this year.
Yeah. So, okay. We're going to start next week. next Tuesday.
With an Erin pick.
With an Erin pick, The Notebook. Starring Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams. Right?
You've seen it?
I've seen it.
You've seen it?
Yeah. Oh, it's awful.
I liked it when I was like 15.
That was when I hated it.
Ooh, this is going to be interesting. If you're a bird, I'm a bird.
Is that a quote from that movie?
No, I just said that. Yeah, of course it is.
Is it the same? Is that John Green?
It's Nicholas Sparks.
Nicholas Sparks. Is Nicholas Sparks also Dear John?
Yes.
Okay. It's our Tatum connection. Then on the 12th, the following week, we're going to do a poll on, let's just say Instagram, because I don't know how to do a poll anywhere else. We are going to pick, we're going to let you guys pick from one of 3 Wes Anderson movies, which will be the first ones that we've covered. We're going to consider Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Never seen it.
The Royal Tenenbaums.
Saw it.
And the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Saw it.
I've only seen Grand Budapest. I've seen it twice. I like it. That shouldn't influence your decision. You've seen it twice, right?
I've seen it twice, and I've seen Royal Tenenbaums once.
Yeah. Shouldn't influence your decision. Whichever one you guys want to hear us talk about. And then we talked about our next movie, the 3rd week of September, already in this episode. Matilda.
Yay.
The 1990-something Matilda, with directed by Danny DeVito, starring Danny DeVito, co-starring Danny DeVito. What's her name? Wilson?
Mara Wilson.
Mara Wilson, yes. I used to follow her on Twitter. I should have known her name. As Matilda, Miss Trunchbull is an icon.
Yeah.
Doesn't she make that kid eat a bunch of cake?
Yeah, chocolate cake.
That kid's an icon.
I like this movie.
And who's the mom? Or the stepmom?
Rhea Perlman.
Rhea Perlman, yeah.
I really like Matilda. I love the book.
Yeah.
This movie is a departure from the book, and the musical, which actually was just made into a movie, is a lot closer to the original book.
The movie, I know it's like mid-90s because you can feel Danny DeVito coming off of working with Tim Burton on Batman Returns.
There's a lot of overalls.
It's Burton-y.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
It's a little whimsical.
It is. Yeah. I like the
Which
movie.
I like about it. Yeah, I like about it. And I'm not the biggest Tim Burton fan, but this type of style, Danny DeVito made it work. And then finally, what you've all been waiting for.
We're
the
ready.
4th week of September.
Which we've just watched this movie on Bravo.
Yes, and God, I'll watch it every single day of my life. Twilight.
That's a high school movie.
Oh yeah, I did watch it in high school actually.
Oh, I saw it the weekend it came out.
I saw it
I might have done a midnight show.
I saw it after I slept over at my friend's house, and I was up in the morning, and his mom and I were watching it.
It's so random. Oh my God.
It was great.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I cannot wait to cover Twilight.
I love Twilight.
It's horrible, but it's great.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? It's iconic.
The baseball scene, Muse, the whole thing.
Catherine Hardwicke.
Yep. The Queen.
The Queen. We loved 13.
13 is great.
13's a good movie.
Which we will not be covering on this podcast.
No. Yeah. 13's way better than Twilight, but Twilight is a cultural phenomenon. Like, I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
With future Oscar winner Robert Pattinson.
Yep. And Kristen Stewart.
An Oscar nominee, Kristen Stewart.
That's right.
Yeah. So that is our next 4 weeks of movies, and then we're gonna get into October
excited.
After that already.
Yeah, and then it's spooky season. We're gonna cover Halloween movies, scary movies.
We have a guest.
We'll have a guest.
At least one guest, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. But September, those are our September movies. This was 21 Jump Street. We loved it. And next week, join us back here for The Notebook.
The Notebook.
See you later.
Romance.